Movie starts from 6 total strangers, each possessing a distinct set of skills, backgrounds, and personality traits, awaken inside a surreal, claustrophobic labyrinth composed of interconnected cubic rooms. None of them have any memory of how they arrived, who brought them there, or why they were chosen. The group consists of Quentin, a hot-headed and aggressive police officer, Holloway, a paranoid and deeply idealistic free clinic doctor, Worth, a bitter and cynical office worker. Levin, a young and anxious mathematics student, Ren, an elderly master escape artist known as the Ren, and Kazazan, a mentally disabled man with severe autism. The rooms are visually identical except for their glowing, monochromatic colors, red, green, blue, yellow, and white, and each side of every cube features a hatch that opens into an adjacent room, creating an infinite, terrifying grid. They quickly learn that the maze is lethal when Ren tests a room using his shoe-throwing technique to detect pressure plates. Satisfied the room is safe, he steps inside, only to be sprayed in the face with a lethal acid trap that liquefies his head instantly. Paralyzed with fear, the remaining survivors realize that some rooms are rigged with horrific, automated booby traps, ranging from flamethrowers and razor-sharp molecular wires to sound-activated spikes, while others are completely safe. As desperation sets in, Levin notices a set of 9-digit numbers engraved on the small metal hatches between the rooms. Using her mathematical knowledge, she deduces that any room marked with a prime number in its sequence contains a deadly trap. Guided by Levin's calculations and Quentin's aggressive leadership, the group begins making progress through the maze, carefully avoiding trapped rooms and searching for an outer wall. However, tensions rapidly escalate when Worth breaks down and makes a shocking confession. He is a lower-level architect who was hired years ago to design the outer shell of the facility. Worth knows nothing about who operates the cube or why people are trapped inside. He simply designed a giant, hollow steel box, operating in total bureaucracy where no one hand knew what the other was doing. This revelation shatters Quentin's sanity and trust, exposing the terrifying truth that the cube might not be a grand government conspiracy or sinister experiment, but merely a forgotten, mindless corporate mistake running on autopilot. Holloway attempts to keep the group grounded with empathy, but Quentin's pragmatic drive devolves into unhinged tyranny as he grows increasingly violent, viewing anyone who slows them down as dead weight. When they reach the outer shell of the cube, Holloway lowers herself out of a hatch into a vast, dark abyss separating the inner cubic maze from the outer metallic wall, hoping to find a bridge or exit. A sudden movement in the maze causes her to slip, leaving her dangling over the endless drop. Quentin catches her hand, but driven by his growing madness and hatred for her opposition to his authority, he deliberately lets go, letting Holloway plunge to her death in the dark void below, while lying to the others that she lost her grip. Soon after, Levin makes a horrifying realization. Her initial prime number theory was flawed, as rooms with power of prime numbers also contain traps, leading them into a room that nearly slaughters Quentin with a sonic trap. Just as all hope seems lost, Kazan's true value is revealed. His autism endows him with extraordinary mental calculation abilities, allowing him to compute complex prime factors in his head in seconds, taking over as their human supercomputer. Using Kazan's mind, they navigate toward an exit room, only to realize the entire inner maze periodically shifts and rotates like a giant Rubik's Cube. Levin calculates that by staying in a specific, bridge room, as the maze shifts, it will temporarily align with the outer door to the outside world. They reach the exit hatch, which opens to reveal a blinding, pure white light leading out of the facility. However, a mentally shattered and physically exhausted Worth refuses to leave, believing there is nothing worth returning to in the corrupt human world outside. As Levin tries to convince Worth to step through the door, Quentin suddenly appears behind them, covered in blood and wielding a metal hatch handle as a weapon. Driven by pure psychopathic rage, Quentin stabs Levin through the chest, killing her instantly, and turns his blade on Worth. In a final, desperate act of self-sacrifice, a mortally wounded Worth grabs Quentin's legs and pins him down directly beneath the hatch frame just as the maze begins its periodic shift. The moving steel walls slice Quentin in half, ending his reign of terror. Bleeding out beside Levin's body, Worth lies back and closes his eyes, choosing to die inside the maze. Kazan, the sole survivor, quietly steps out through the open door, walking forward into the infinite, glowing white light, leaving the mindless machinery of the cube behind forever.